and it also minimises the walking. So previously I said the guy had to go to the stillage, move the wheel to the position, and then go get the lifter and lift the car. So we're doing excess motion. We've done a spaghetti diagram on this down the bottom. To simplify it a little bit, one associate was moving 15 movements, just collecting wheels and moving back. By using the wheel lifter, we've reduced it to 7. The other associate was using 13 movements. By using the wheel lifter, we've reduced it to 7. Taking into account with this is the amperometrical data to show which height the stillage should be. So if we used a wheel lifter and the wheels were still delivered down here, I wouldn't be improving their ergonomics, so I'd still be requesting them to bend. So having a stillage at the right height, waist height, allows the wheel lifter to go up still with the associate at a good level.
Just back to the data you talked about, their movement.
Yes.
So could you alter the sequence of their movement to improve that in any way, or did you look at their sequence?
So we looked at the sequence. We do that with line balancing anyway. So
explain a bit more about that.
So line balance is when we try and get our cycle times and takt times. Let me backtrack. So the customer demand shows us our takt time. Amount of cars they want divided by the working minutes we have in a day.
Fine.
That's our takt time. Then we try and get our cycle time to around 80% of the takt time. And that's when we start our line balance. So in certain situations, like this cycle time was over the takt time. So we were finding we was always late,
right.
Moving the car late. So we improved the sequence already by moving the under trays closer to the car, by merging processes together, using different equipment. But the wheel was one thing we couldn't get past because the wheel lift was not able to go into the stillage and pick the wheel up. So you have to have 2 processes to get the wheel on the car, and it's just a real big waste that we see. It's double handling, basically. They're handling the wheel out and then going to get a lifter and picking it up.
Right.
It's a real waste. I mean, we do have the ability with the 4-post lifter to manoeuvre the car to any height they want, but still doesn't take away the initial lifting of the wheel out of the stillage from the associate. Yeah, so that's basically it with actually getting the wheel. There's a big part in securing the wheel as well. So the wheels get secured up to 56 newton meters, which is quite a strain with a click wrench. It's not easy. So again, like I explained, there's a 4-post lifter, so the guys can move the car up and down to a good height for them, but it still doesn't take away that initial strain. We're talking a lot of shoulders, a lot of arms, again a lot of back. And what we do find with 2 people working on this station, if I've got someone who's 6 foot and someone who's 5 foot, it's working at a different height again. So the guy at 6 foot might find it easy up here, the guy at 5 foot is finding it easy down here, but the lift can only be at one position. So if we were moving it in and out, we're increasing motion time, reducing productivity, and ultimately not helping the goals. So a hypothetical working solution is an automated wheel securing system, which again they use at Mini, and basically this is a ceiling mounted motor. It drops down, and again 0 gravity. You pull it down on a lever, as easy as that. You push it in, you push the trigger, and it does all 5 bolts up. It's a very simple but very effective piece of kit. Again, it takes all the strain away from the associates, and it actually takes the need away from 2 guns. So we're reducing the tooling as well. So they're the 3 elements that, of the process that we're working on. Sorry.
Just the people who are doing the work then,
Yeah.
how do you get the feedback from them formally about
So,
how things are going and what their particular...
We actually have a feedback box, which they can put feedback cards in at any time, but we do daily team briefs as well, and in that daily team brief there is a feedback session for any issues where they will feedback, and we do process confirmations, and they have to write in writing what they're finding difficult in that process confirmation and sign it as well. So that's a real opportunity for them to say why they might be delivering the car late, or why their back's hurting a little bit, just to give their input in and say, when I do this process, I find I'm having to lean like this, and that's what we take away in the process confirmation. And on the process confirmation, we'll have an outline of the human body, and we'll circle where it is that they're feeling the pain. and then we'll take actions away from that and put it in a lock to try and prevent it happening.
And then from that, if it's seen as an issue, there must be some sort of measurement taken to validate it or look for improvements. Is that right?
Yeah, so depending on what it is, can be done in several ways. We use a system called Sarah at work, which is it's basically an ergonomic risk assessment. So for the wheels, because of the height and the torque, we would get me involved, the associates involved, and we've got a health and safety department. They will come down and review it as well. And they take everything into account, the torque that you're having to achieve, the height of the vehicle you're working on, the surroundings, and understand whether they feel that there's a risk of injury or if it can be improved. And when we've done that, we've done it on the overhead as well. When we've done it on the overhead, it was clear that we were expecting those guys to have their arms up in the air for 80% of the day. If you ask someone to put their hands in the air for 80% of the day, it's going to hurt. It's not going to be very nice. So to take that away, the only real solution we have found is the robotic suit at the moment, and the trials are proving really good. It's an amazing bit of kit. Really takes all the strain.
So you have that. So you have input from the operators, but you also have this input. You mentioned the aims of the company as well. So
yes.
Like the aim of the company would be to reduce takt time or something.
Yeah. So reduce takt. Obviously, zero accidents, zero defects. These are all goals that we're striving to. Not just us, the associates as well. They know their goals, and we're all striving towards achieving takt time. Not necessarily improving it, but achieving it and getting a good quality.
And if the associate is working on something and they need to stop it immediately because something is dangerous or something has gone massively wrong, how does that?
So we have an hand on. So they'll pull their hand on, which will call the team leader down. Team leader will come down to the station and assess it. And if the team leader can fix it or work around it, then he will do it. If not, it get escalated to a process leader like myself. And then we go down and we'll have a look at the situation, stop it there and then, make sure that anything that could have caused that situation, whether it's an accident, defect, damage on the car, whatever it was, we'll rectify it and put some actions in place so that the next car that comes through is not going to have the same fault.
Right.
The hypothetical solution also has improved the current workflow as well. So it has, or it would, reduce takt time. Because of the motion of walking to collect the wheels, positioned by the car and the lifting them up, it also really improves it. Mentioned about the heights as well. It's a real big issue on this station with two different heights. Again, you're working under a car. The lift is restricted. You obviously can't tilt the lift because then you're going to topple the car over. So the solution that we have for the heights is to actually work on seats. To be seated, because data shows that most height differential is from lower body. So most people's torsos are actually not too differ. So if you were to sit down, most people would look the same height or a similar height. When we stand up, it's our legs and our lower body that makes us a different height. So working on seats would ensure that everyone's at a similar height and therefore be able to work on the lift at the ideal solution.
I think you mentioned that you had a number of days off sick or something with the way that people were working at the moment. So do you know how that might be reduced with the hypothetical new suits and that?
So the data here, I'll just quickly go through it just because you can't see it. So it's basically arm pain, back pain, wrist pain and shoulder pain. These are the four areas that we suffer with sick days on this station. It's actually our biggest hitter on the assembly line for 6 days. So these are the elements that we focused on. Through the process confirmations, the associates fed back and said, I felt arm pain when I've done this process, etc., etc. And we focused on these 4 points, and the way that the hypothetical way is going to improve it is for the arm pain and the back pain. We're going to take all that away. We're going to take that away with the robotic suit. The neck pain is from the 2-level height we find, because one person's working very close to the car and the other person's not, so they're having to move their neck more. So the solution for the neck pain that we've come up with is the seated, to make sure that everyone, like I say, is at a more similar height. The The shoulder pain is from the over talking. This was actually an accident at work that was raised, and he had nearly a week and a half off pulling a shoulder by using an excessive force on a torque wrench. So that's where we're going to use the automated machine, which is zero gravity. And the good thing about the zero gravity machine is it's electronic and it feeds into our computer system. So when we do the torque up, it will tell the computer whether it's okay or okay, therefore making it pokey oak as well. So if it was okay, they'd have a red alarm bell go off. Those fixings you've just done are not good enough, you need to go back. And it wouldn't go green until they achieve a good one. Then yeah, the layout of the area pretty much constructs itself because of the four-post lift. So everything has to work around the four-post lift, and the goal was to get everything as close to the people as possible, which we managed to do, but we have improved it. So talking about the wheel lifter, previously the wheel lifter was around 2 metres away from the wheels, because then it didn't matter because we were having to do this excess walking. What we have done now is we've moved the wheel lifter right next to the wheels so that it's more of a flow around the vehicle. The guy will pick the wheel lifter up, take it from the container, go to the front of the car, and then he's working around the car rather than in a zigzag backwards and forwards. Looking into the robotic suits has opened our eyes a little bit as well to other areas. So I originally took up the task of looking at it for upper body, but when you look into the market, they even have chair seats now. So when you're crouching and you're doing work, the robotic suit takes all the strain off your lower body, and it's as if you're sitting on an imaginary chair. And they have robotic hands as well for power, to be able to hold something with a tighter grip, or tighten something up easier, or taking all your strain away from your wrist, your hands, your forearms. So yeah, that's opened our eyes to other stations, which we now will tend to look at as well.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, very good.